There are some tragic moments in MMA. And unfortunately, not every MMA career for every MMA legend has a happy ending. Not everyone gets that chance to ride off into the sunset with one last great win or one last title win. Not everyone gets that. So I'm going to be going over my picks for the top 5 saddest moments in MMA history. They're going to be saying, when you think of these, you're going to be thinking, hold on, brother, I'm crying. And at number 5, I got TKZ after his fight with Volk. Now, I know people probably think his retirement was sadder, but um, I don't mind it because yeah, he got knocked out, but he at least got a crowd that appreciated him, and he got a crowd that was cheering for him. They gave him the send off that he deserved. Okay, yeah, sure, and at least in his last fight, he lost to a prime 31-year-old Max Holloway. Yeah, it was kind of like sending a lamb to the slaughter, but at least they gave him a shot to face someone on the level of Max. And honestly, he had his moments in the fight with Max, but this fight is sad because he didn't have a single moment in this fight. He got destroyed for the entire fight. Volk picked him apart. He got standing TKO'd, and he had to get interviewed after getting beat. Just with this, like, so defeated and distraught and just broken. And the translator left this out. So when they were translating it, he said something, and the translator apparently didn't translate it. But someone in the comments of this post fight interview said that he said something along the line of I feel I can never be a champion right up to this moment, or something like I realized that I was never good enough to be a champion, or something along that lines. And that's probably one of the most heartbreaking things, because no one ever wants to realize that they were never good enough to be a champion, because that's every fighter's goal, to be the champ. So when that moment sets in, it's a very like sad thing to see, because you can just like see the man. I was really never able to do it, and that's probably one of the saddest things to see. Number 4, Nick Diaz's retirement. This one was sad, because he was entertaining as fuck for the UFC, and it was sad because he got fucked over for a weed suspension. He lost 5 years of his prime. I'm pretty sure they brought him back because he had one fight left, and it was to finish his contract. But he was old and he needed surgery. He fought Lawler at middleweight. He said he had I think he had needed to get a surgery on his spine or like his hip, something like that. He gave the fans a pretty decent fight for 3 rounds, from what I remember at least. And then and then after Lawler hit him, he kind of just sat down. And when Lawler gestured him to get up, he just didn't get up. It was kind of sad because he was out of shape. He was old. He had his injuries that he needed to fix, but he just wanted to get this over with. And it was just sad, the kind of the way the commission and the UFC fucked them over. They're like, oh, they're both old, let's do the rematch, when Robbie was at least active. Wasn't doing the greatest, but he was active. It was just sad how they did him. It was kind of tragic. And I feel like he deserved a bit of a better send off. Number 3, Daniel Cormier. I mean, he was a legend. He was 40 years old. He was in his last shot to get the belt back. I'm pretty sure he got eye poked at the beginning of the fight because, because of this, you could see in the interview his eye is a little fucked up, and You know, he doesn't have that Bilal Muhammad eye. He doesn't have that. Um, and what sucks even more is I think it was during COVID, and he had a fight in the Apex. He had a fight in the Apex with nobody with no crowd there live, and he had to walk out without a crowd, trying to get himself hyped up, and had to leave without a crowd. You know, getting there to hype him up. The last thing that the fans the last crowd fight he got was him getting knocked out by Stipe. And then the next fight after, he loses, and he doesn't even get the fans there to, get a good send off. And he has to stand there, empty room, talking to Joe Rogan, with no one there. It's just him and Joe, and Joe's trying to be good to him. So it was just sad. I felt bad. He deserved to at least go out with like a crowd. But then number 2 is a little bit worse. No, it's a lot worse. Glover Teixeira's retirement was fucked up. And first off, he was fighting Jamal Hill after he was supposed to rematch Yuri when Yuri blew his shoulder out. He got the chance to fight in his home crowd in Brazil. Also, you know what's... I'm not going to mention that right now. This is about the retirement. Let's be real. He got shit on by Hill. And what's fucked up is halfway through the fight, fans started leaving the arena. First off, fuck the Brazilian crowd. The worst possible crowd you could ever have. Okay? When Davison Figueiredo got doctor stoppage because his eye was completely swollen and he couldn't do anything about it. They started throwing shit at Moreno. Like, what the fuck? Every other fighter who got a win, no matter how emphatic it was, they just booed and threw stuff at them when they were walking back out of the arena, which was fucked up. And, yeah, halfway through the fight, fans started leaving the arena. So, he had to retire in front of a crowd that had 1/3 of the people. And looking at it and remembering it better, it wasn't even like 1/3. It was like 1/20th of the people originally there. Like, you could see it right here. 90% of the crowd is gone. His home crowd fucked him over. They didn't give him the retirement that he deserved. And it's fucked up. It's fucked up how they did them. And it was sad to watch. Chael Sonnen's retirement is my most saddest, in my opinion. Because, he made the promise to his dad on his deathbed to win a world title. And in his retirement, he said it was the only promise he never kept. And what makes it sadder is because when you look back on his career, he got so close to doing it against one of what many consider to be one of the top 5 greatest of all time. I don't, but many people do. And he got so close to beating him. And he got TKO'd by Silva in the rematch because of the stupid spinning back fist, dude. If you just stuck to the game plan again, and we're not talking about that. And then he failed to get the belt in Bellator after he got old and thought maybe he had a chance. And it was sad because after that, on the Bellator press conference, he had to just... it was one of the first times he dropped the whole, I'm the bad guy. And he kind of just admitted, yeah, I failed to do the one thing I promised to do to my dad. Only promise I never kept. And he had to retire knowing he failed to do the one thing that he set out on his MMA journey to do. That's my opinion for the saddest, and that was my list of the top 5 saddest moments in the UFC. If you guys think there's a different one, then let me know, but yeah, that's my pick for the top 5 saddest in the UFC, but we have the top 5 happiest coming soon, okay? So be on the lookout for that. But that's about it. See ya.